Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We have a very special presentation. It's something that we have been looking forward to presenting to everybody for a long time. Can't keep the smile off my face. We are finally here. We are ready to have the executive function coaching opening up at ESO. It's been something that the team has been working towards for a long time. It's something that we've seen as a missing piece in terms of some of the work that we can do and some of the areas that we can continue to help our students and our clients functioning and their lives independently. Yeah, coming September 2025. It's been a long time coming. We're going to take you through kind of an overview of what to expect or what's coming your way, some of the reasons why we are heading in this direction, and just why it makes sense. Go on to the next one, please. All right, so what is executive function coaching? I think let's start with what executive functioning is. What does that mean? Is it something that everybody uses equally? Is it something that some people use more than others? It's kind of a word that you hear much more now, which I think is very, very positive. So to begin with, executive functioning are the skills that enable us to learn, to work, to function and manage our own lives independently. They help us deal with stressful times. They help us plan when we have kind of things that are overloading. They help us set goals. They help us try and meet those goals. Kind of said in a shorter way, they help us become our own CEO. They help us with the functioning of our own lives. We're helping students, create plans on how to succeed and reach goals and specific goals and how to specifically reach those goals. We use the gym analogy in Aerosmith, and it's one that's quite fitting for the executive function coaching as well. For those people who would like to go to the gym, who are looking to get the exercise, it's not that we don't know where the gym is. It's not that we can't Google it to find it. It's not that we don't think that there are benefits both mentally and physically to go into the gym, but just what are those speed bumps that are stopping? Why do we get to that fork in the road? And for some reason, we go back to maybe watching our favorite show as opposed to getting our gym bag ready. So what are some of the things that are keeping us from that? It might be your time management. Maybe you just didn't have time to fit it in. Maybe it was prioritizing. I just had so many things to do that I couldn't get everything ready to go to the gym this morning. And so these types of things and these types of gaps that we're seeing with some of our students and clients that are either working with us in the Arrowsmith program and looking to transition away, or just people that are coming to us for a little tune-up. And so the idea here is that people that are hoping to come to us for executive function coaching, it's not that they don't know where to go. It's not that they're kind of unsure of what to do with their lives. It's just not sure on necessarily how to get there. Okay.
So in terms of our model, and what kind of sets us apart, and we've done some research and talked to a lot of people about like what works with coaching and what's a bit of a downfall. And what we saw in terms of some of that process is if we have 50 to 60 minute meeting a week, you're left for those days to be able to ensure you're hitting all of those checkpoints. And if something goes wrong and it's like, I'm just discouraged, I'll just wait until my meeting next week. A week's a long time. So we wanted to split that up a little bit. So what we're going to have is a 40-minute meeting where you're creating more of a plan to follow, creating achievable checkpoints to achieve attainable goals. So creating goals together and planning together and creating an action plan for the upcoming week. Later in the week, we will do a 20-minute check-in just to ensure, okay, what's going right? What could maybe we didn't predict, something that could go wrong? What came up that you didn't know was coming up that we didn't discuss that we now have to factor in? And a little bit of a checkpoint in that middle just to regroup. So you'll have those 2 minutes for 60 or 22 meetings for 60 minutes in the week. Enrollment options are very similar to our other programs. So we have a monthly enrollment term and an academic year, but really to achieve these goals and make them habitual, the longer term time with your coach and your mentor is quite important. And this is a trust situation where the coach is working with the student to be able to work through to the goals that the student really wants to achieve, right? So that's a little bit different in terms of the approach with the parents have all of these goals for their child. Yes, that might be true, but the child needs to be able to achieve and succeed in reaching those goals for their parents to get something that they might want. So we want to empower them to be able to free up their availability to spend time on things that are important for them.
And so looking forward, we are experts in our field. It's a very natural step for us to look at including this. And this, again, the reason why, well, we've been looking forward to adding this, and it makes sense. And so at Eaton Arrowsmith, those of you who are joining us familiar with the Arrowsmith program, you all know that is what we do. In the Arrowsmith program, executive functioning is the name of the game. In fact, there are 4 main exercises which the majority of our population work with, and these are to help strengthen some of these skills. Now, does it mean that somebody who's joining us for executive function coaching needs to go through the Arrowsmith program? While they could definitely benefit from it, it is not a necessity. You might be somebody who already has an idea of, again, where you'd like to be and how to get there. All you need is just a little boost, and that's where we come in. Some of the areas that we are experts, so again, from our training and our 20 years of experience with the Arrowsmith program, we've gotten to know our population quite well. And these tend to be, the students and clients with ADD, ADHD. High functioning autism is certainly quite a large group and a developing group of our population who could definitely benefit from this. Anxiety and stress management, I think, speaks for itself. I think post-COVID, there's a lot more anxiety and stress that we are noticing in the younger population, and helping to navigate that in a meaningful way and in a way with less stress and high hope is our goal. And then mentorship, life coaching, and of course, brain injury rehabilitation. We're very fortunate to have our director, Josh Poirier, with extensive knowledge in that realm.
So in terms of why we're offering this and adding this to our suite, everyone starts at a different point. Like Raf said, this is a natural step for us to be built to add something in. And to be quite honest, this is really something that we're doing within our Arrowsmith classes and have been doing. But just the amount of time with the full class to give that amount of dedicated focus, that one-on-one focus that some students with these needs have, we wanted to add coaching in to be able to provide that amount of time. So this really does complement our work towards improving cognition through neuroplasticity. And a lot of our work is neuroplastic based through Arrowsmith, as many are aware. But we can start in different areas. So with coaching, if we're starting with coaching, you can just continue with coaching. But a lot of people coming through Arrowsmith are also having different needs when they are leaving the Arrowsmith program, for example. We've done a lot of strengthening. All these networks are working really well. Now I'm going back into normal life or going back to school more full time. And how do I organize and manage with these new tools that I have and this new strength that I have? So there's a place for that. The peers program is also running, which is more social thinking and understanding friendships and relationships. So to be able to then go into Arrowsmith or into coaching after that, there really are different avenues depending on everyone's needs into other services that we're offering. ESO is typically targeting the 4 executive function exercises before others to maximize outcomes in areas of life. So we've really gone down online in terms of having a lot of offerings for students in our schools. And before COVID, we were 100% in school. There was nothing online. And most students were doing, over 90% of students were doing 4 to 6 exercises in a day. And we were used to seeing progress across the board in a number of areas. But in terms of looking at just one area at a time, it is more triage. And that triage has focused mostly on executive functioning to be able to target these to improve those skills. So we want to be able to add in some coaching to refine those skills and give more action towards outcomes.
Okay, so what are executive functions? This is something we've been talking about since the beginning. So what are the types of things that we will be focusing on, or rather, what are some of the executive functions that might be keeping someone from achieving their goals or from maybe getting to where they feel that they should be in life? And so won't hit on all of these, but there are definitely some of these that are staring at me. And so time management, a lot of our clients' time management is a big piece. Planning and prioritizing closely related to that one as well. Cognitive flexibility, if I could have highlighted this one, I would have. It is something that we definitely need the ability to see things from a different way, the ability to have a look at something and then take a different perspective. Your working memory, how much are you able to keep in? How much information are you able to sort all at one time without letting things kind of go to the side and forgetting to do, oh, I forgot to prep my lunch for tomorrow. Oh, I forgot to set the coffee. Oh, I didn't prep the kids' lunches. And just so once you've filled all of your working memories, certain things start to slide off to the side. And then of course, goal setting and shifting. How well are we able to shift our attention, focus, and motivation from something that we are very engaged in doing for a long period of time, and then picking up, switching to something else that is a higher priority at that time. And so when we're working with our clients, our goal is not going to be to work on all of these all at once. Rather, it's going to be the one or maybe the two that are the biggest ones for this person. And so usually there's one underlying executive functioning that is having an impact on the rest of them. And through our meetings, our goal is going to be to figure that one out.
So in terms of our executive function, they are typically located within our prefrontal cortex. So just to speak to that a little bit, in our brain, so our prefrontal cortex lies in the front of our brain. We do our best thinking in this area. We do our problem solving, analyzing social situations, planning, organizing, detail management, understanding how other people are feeling, having empathy for others, and understanding their situations. So much of this human organization and observation of life and organization in general come within our prefrontal cortex. Unfortunately, there's a lot of or many diagnoses that take out the development of this area and slow that process down. ADD, ADHD, for example, is just the prefrontal cortex not growing at the age of the student and holding them behind cognitively, which can lead to an overfiring or underfiring brain, which can lead to as students get older, quicker reaction to our fight or flight system, or putting up guards when we know we're in potential areas where we just don't enjoy something, right? And that can lead to, if you're not engaging in the activities, you're not developing the brain in the same way. So this can start from birth. This can be later onset. This can be from brain injury to slow down this area. But what we've seen is in the prefrontal cortex, there can be 5 to 10 times more electrical activity from right brain to left brain, which can just tire the brain out, right? So we've seen a reduction in that energy within our Arrowsmith programming, and we're very hopeful to be able to settle some of that anxious brain down with some aid in helping to plan and organize their day through coaching to hit those goals, to be able to achieve things that they want to achieve and focus on things that they want to focus on. So we have found improvements with Arrowsmith programming, but also exercise can help to settle down the prefrontal cortex. So we are going to be encouraging, how are we going to get some exercise in? How are we going to improve our lifestyle choices and our focus on what are the right things to be targeting our free time to, right? We don't have free time so we can go out and party all the time, right? So we have to find ways to use that free time well and work towards goals that are promoting healthy lifestyle choices. And sometimes that takes a mentor and takes some coaching around to really discover what that could look like for a certain individual. But in terms of the prefrontal cortex, that is one of our main focuses in our Arrowsmith programming, within our peers programming, and within our coaching, where executive function really thrives in an environment where the brain is in a settled state, and we're working towards getting to that point within all of our programming. So what it looks like is essentially someone will give us a call and we'll give you the contact information at the end of the presentation. So like any of our other programs, you would typically be calling and chatting with Sandra Husel, quickly just understand the process a little bit and what the program could look like for you or your child. We'll chat initially after that, or what are your main goals? And that might be with myself or Raf. What are the goals? What do you think main obstacles are preventing us from reaching these? From there, we'll look to address how we can match our staff with the student or yourself to understand who is going to be the best person to have this fit. We're going to focus on which executive function is most relevant to that person because everyone comes in differently, and create some communication preferences. So how are we going to get in touch? How are we going to book? A lot of these types of questions and how do you book meetings are very much a part of coaching, very much a part of executive function organization. So we'll work on that process with you rather than tell you, okay, these are all your meetings that we've set up for you. Like we got to kind of work through those things together and create an independent human that's not relying on others and is able to thrive in any situation. And then, like I said, there'll be 2 meetings per week, a 40 and a 20. We're going to do some goal setting and follow up within that time, discuss scheduling preferences within that time, and working towards one main goal that is going to have a bigger outcome in your quality of life.
Okay, so the demographic or the profile. So what types of students, what types of clients might we be looking for that would be a good fit? I mean, first of all, the students or the points that we have on here are not exhausted, so it's not limited to these items. Typically, our expertise is in students or young adults that are struggling with learning difficulties. However, this is where the intake call is so important. And so we need to know what your needs are to see how best we can match it. Our goal, our success is matched with your success. So as we work with somebody and we see that they are starting to reach some of their goals, they're starting to hit some of the targets that we had for them that we discussed at the beginning, that means that we are being successful on both sides of the field. And that's what we're hoping for. And so we've got people struggling with learning difficulties. That is definitely an area of expertise. Keeping up with academics. There's often in the almost 15 years that I've been working with students with learning difficulties, or even students throughout the Arrowsmith program with a variety of different challenges, there's always a sense of somebody who's putting in extra effort, extra time, saying trying their best in classes, listening as best as they can, reviewing their notes. Just seems that they're exhausting themselves and not able to gain any traction. They have the best intentions. They're trying to set themselves alarms. They're trying to put everything that they can in their corner to help them succeed, but for whatever reason, they're just not able. They don't feel like they are able to get closer to where their goals are. And so, even though they have the right ideas and the right intentions, having the supports and being able to put that energy and those intentions in the right direction are what coaching is going to be about. And so, other things such as transitioning from high school to college or university. This is a big topic for a lot of our students as well. Interview prep. Interview prep is again emerging from the needs that we see in our population. Understanding how the workplace functions, different workplace skills. The social aspect of this, it's not so much of a coaching highlight, it's more going to be into the peers, but the social skills is definitely something that could be wrapped up within here as well. Importantly, towards the bottom, who is this not for? And so it's important to mention we are not here to be supporting people with mental health concerns in the coaching program. Okay, so in terms of how we can best suit your needs, the intake call is really going to be the best time and place. We would encourage you, even if you're not sure, if you're watching this presentation, give us a call, and then we can always see what it is that we can do for you. We're not looking for training executives or anything like that, and we are not a tutoring service. All right, just to give you a bit of an example of the day in the life. And so if we have somebody who is, starting off the day, maybe waking up late, didn't remember to set an alarm the night before, or perhaps had to stay up late studying for a test that they forgot about the night before. Didn't wake up past their alarm because they were so tired, so exhausted. Now they're waking up, they're flustered, don't have time to eat breakfast, go to the car, oh, no gas in the car, I forgot to prioritize that when I finished work yesterday, or oops, I was rushing out of the door, I forgot to get my bus pass, and now I'm waiting at the bus stop, and I'm not sure how I'm going to get onto the bus or how I'm going to make it. And then even when you finally do make it into work, or when you finally get into school, the ability to regulate your emotion, or your ability to even switch from the very high energy situation and come back to a more calm energy, and just gathering your thoughts so that you're not looking like this person in the picture with every single thing happening all at once. And can you imagine how full your working memory bank would be with all of these things happening all at the same time, and trying to figure out how to best approach each and every one of these without becoming overwhelmed. next up, counseling and coaching. And so I have to admit, at the beginning, before we started looking extensively into coaching, specifically executive function coaching, I had a little bit of trouble understanding the line between the two, and I felt that the line separating the two was quite close. And upon looking more into this, and then the people that we've spoken to in the companies, it becomes quite clear that there's a difference between these two. We'll start with coaching. Coaching is much more of a growth centric approach. We're looking at specific goals. We are goal oriented. We are planning for the future. We are looking at growth. We are looking to close the gap between where you are and where you would like to be, or where you feel like you would like to be. Okay, we are forward thinking. This is not hindering on the past. We're not thinking about, oh, well, this happened, this many years ago, and because of that, I'm having trouble. This is something that is beyond the realm of coaching. That would be more something that is counseling based. And so that counseling is going to be your recovery centric. We're focusing on what happened in the past, how many of these things have shaped you, how they might have shaped your thinking processes or even your behaviors. The aim for counseling and not coaching is going to be to address your mental health issues, which may disrupt your ability to function, your ability to manage your information, your emotions, and your ability to succeed. Counseling, again, aims at reconciling and understanding the past. Coaching is, again, starting from where you're at, where you want to be. We're all about looking forward.
Okay, so the registration is open for September. We're going to be doing a lot of intake meetings within August to see the best fit for people. So the monthly registration will open in August, the same way that our other programs work. However, our 5-month term registration and our school year registration are going to be opening immediately. So if you have questions or want to start that process of looking to get in for August meetings into September, even meetings sooner than that, depending on how quickly we want to get moving. We're open to that. The cost for monthly is $7.49 Canadian, the 5-month term $34.40 Canadian, and the school year $67.80 Canadian. However, these payments can be split up in a payment plan as well.
All right, so for more information about anything coaching related, Sandra Hughes will be your registration person. I will be the lead coach. Any questions that you have, please shoot them our way. Even especially as we're at the beginning of this process, if you're unsure, if you think, well, it might be a fit, it might not be a fit, please let us know. Just like with any of our other programs, if it might not be a fit for you right now, we'd love to keep you in the loop and then determine when it will be a good fit for you.
Great. Thanks for everyone for watching. Reach out if you have any questions.